My name is Kyle Swanier. I'm the Vocational Services Director for Lafourche. Up to the middle of the 20th century, there were virtually no services available for persons with developmental disabilities in the rural areas of the country, as was the case in South Louisiana. In the midst of that era, four gentlemen decided it was time to do something about that and founded an organization that would provide care and support to this previously unserved population. Of these four gentlemen, sadly, two have passed away, Mr. Peter O'Neill Jr. and Mr. Richard Stevens. I'm happy to have here with me today the two remaining founders, Dr. James Pelche and Mr. J.C. Plaisance. I've asked them to provide us with a history of the organization currently known as Lafourche. Dr. Pelche, who was it that pulled the other three together, and how did it all start?
Well, I think the original idea came from Woolen Falgrew, who was a state representative at the time. And he called for a meeting. And as I recall that meeting, there were 50, 60 people there. But when the next meeting came around, there were only 5 of us.
Okay.
And the 5 of us proceeded to found this association. And the rest is 48 years of history.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Woolen Falgrew.
Right.
Okay, okay. The Lafourche Association for Retarded Children, that was the
That's
original
the
name?
original name, right.
Okay.
And we only, at that time, we were only doing children. Today we do adults.
Mhm.
The state has taken over our original job of taking care of children
Yeah.
by law. And we still have the same type of organization, but it's for adults.
Yes, sir. And you meaning when the school system came in to provide
Correct.
special education services? Okay. And that was 1963 was
Okay.
the initial year, am I correct?
Right.
Okay. Well, Mr. Plaisance, do you recall what the annual budget was in that first year?
No, I sure don't, Doc. Maybe
It was
you-
$6,000.
$6,000?
And $2,000 came from the city of Thibodeau. $2,000 came from the parish. And the rest of it will be raised from donations.
Okay, very good. How many individuals were served at that time in that first year?
I guess you had about 10 in
10
Lockport,
in Lockport.
and we had about 20 in Thibodeau.
Wow. Okay. And Mr. Plaisance, you were telling me who some of the employees were?
Yes.
His wife.
His
My,
wife.
my wife was the first director in Lockport,
Okay.
and she got a sister to come work with her. Wife was getting $200 a month. Her sister was getting $100 a month.
$100 a month. And how many hours a week were they working? Was it just a couple of days?
No, they were working 5 days, but they didn't work a full day.
I see. Okay. Okay. Is it surprising to you that the organization is now listed as one of the top 10 employers in Lafourche Parish?
Well, I certainly didn't foresee that in 1963.
Well, Dr. Pelche, the agency currently serves about 400 people, and over the years it's served hundreds. I'm imagining that that's a great sense of pride in knowing.
Well, there's no question about it. When I see those people at the homes and sometimes in church and wherever in the grocery stores, there is a great deal of pride in knowing that we made a place for them in society.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, Mr. Plaisance, the organization began with vocational services only, I understand.
Right.
And I was told that the original program was a 3-room building that was donated by the American Legion post-83.
Correct.
And that was in Lockport?
Was in Lockport. The American Legion bought a building from Dr. Simpson for $100. Manny Barrios helped us get Martin Otis to move the building across from the Legion home where we started our program in Lockport.
Okay. And I'm told that there was a fire that destroyed that building?
Yes, some young boys, from what we could gather, went and smoked in the building and got scared and dropped a cigarette and gutted out the building.
So where did the program go after that?
From there, It went to Holy Savior High School building that they weren't using.
Okay. Okay. Can you help me get the order correct on these vocational programs as they've come in? I know there was Acadia Daycare in Thibodaux,
Right.
next to Nichols campus.
Correct.
Okay. And next, when and how did the acquisition of Grenier Industries come about?
As I remember, Balu Morvan had something to do with charming Mrs. Grenier into giving us the property.
Okay.
And we built on it.
Okay. In 1984, the office on Hickory Street, and before that, there was no administrative office, I'm gathering. Huh?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. So in 1984, y'all acquired the property on Hickory Street, and I remember half of it was the administrative side, and the other half was a vocational program. And it stayed that way probably 15 years or so through in the mid 90s. The individuals that were served at the Matthews location.
And we stayed there till the school system started special ed,
Okay.
and we let them move in to take care of the younger ones.
Okay.
And then from there, we moved to the drugstore in Lafourche,
Okay.
Jones's Drugstore,
Okay.
where we started taking care of the elder ones.
Okay. So that's all, it started with vocational services, but Dr. Pelche, in the 1970s, the organization was approached by the state to open community homes and now begin to provide 24-hour residential care. Can you describe those conversations among the board members, if you wish, on whether or not the organization should develop this branch of service?
Well, I don't think we ever decided whether or not we were going to do it. The problem was that it was all new to all of us.
Mhm.
And we had some misgivings on how we would handle it all. Not that we would turn it down, but that we would be successful in it. But needless to say, it's been one of our greatest successes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I looked into the order, and as I understand it, first was the Narrow Home, and then
Right.
came the Country Club, and then the Stevens Home in Lockport, and then Jack Bay Community Home, Diplomat Community Home, and then finally the Terry Community Home was in like the late 1980s. And then, well, this venture off into residential services gave the organization some experience in providing 24-hour care. Then in the 1990s, again, the organization was approached with a whole new concept, providing support to people who lived with their families.
My only concern there was that we would find the people to staff such a big program as that.
Yeah.
Of course, it makes probably as much money as any form of our association.
Mm-hmm.
But we were assured that they could find the employees. They did, and it's been a very successful part of our organization.
Yes, sir. And brought us into other parishes. Prior to that, it was all just Lafourche Parish. So,
Well, we can't go any further without talking about George Stack,
okay.
because when he came aboard, he was so knowledgeable about the politics of Baton Rouge, about retarded children, retarded adults. He had been working for the state for about 10 years prior to coming here, and he knew how to handle, things from the top.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, 2013 will mark 50 years.
Unbelievable.
50 years as we move forward. What is just in a phrase or a word, what are the principal concepts that the agency should maintain and focus at all well into the next 50 years of the organization?
Well, if they would just continue what they have already, that is dedication, we'll just do just fine.
That's fine. Well, thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate you taking the time here to help us to understand a little
Well, I'm
bit
a
about
very
where
busy
we've come
man, and